welcome to the structural analysis 2 video lecture. This is lecture number 4 of unit 3. So in this video lecture, a topic of approximate method for horizontal forces using factor method. This is using factor method is explained, and also an important points regarding the important methods, that is approximate method. We have different approximate methods in this unit. So I'll also explain regarding that how the questions are asked coming to theory part of structural analysis too. So coming to the factor method, so this factor method is also used for exclusively finding horizontal forces. So previously we have discussed the Portal method and cantilever method, and now we are going to discuss the last method for this unit, that is factor method. So in the Portal method we have some assumptions, and also in the cantilever method we have some assumptions. So let's see what's there in factor method, and what is the difference between the Portal and cantilever method in analyzing. So that factor method is nothing but it is an approximate slope deflection method. So those methods can be called as something like moment distribution methods extension, but it is here we have it is an approximate slope deflection method. That means in the name itself we can say that this is somewhat lengthy to solve the problems. So presented in steps, this is an approximate slope deflection method presented in steps. In steps means step by step, using simple instructions by which the desired results can be obtained without the knowledge of principle of elasticity upon which it is based. So elasticity, we have the terms which are used in slope deflection method already. So without having the knowledge of principle of elasticity, we can find the desired results. That means it is a modification of slope deflection method, but it is an approximate method for quicker results. So for this method it has a greatest advantage over Portal and cantilever method. So the first point says that it is more accurate than Portal and cantilever method, and we can say that especially useful when moments of inertia of various members are different. So in each member we have for beam, generally for a very small UG based learning, that is BTech level learning, there will be moment of inertia will be same for every beam or column, but in practice or in general, when you see the constructions, the beam size or the column size is almost the same, but differs on the orientation. So for a room, if it is a very big room, so depending on the height of the building, the orientation, that means length side, if I am seeing the column, the breadth side can be seen like this, and sometimes the columns are oriented like this. That means the thinner part can be seen, and this other part will be will have more width, and the width of these two will be same, but this breadth is different. That means depending on the moment distribution, the designers will design the columns. That means we can say that the moment of inertia of this column and these columns are different. So in such a case, this factor method is specially used when the moments of inertia of various members are different. If the moments of inertia are different, this factor method will play an important and easy role. So at a joint, the total moment is shared by all the members in proportion to their stiffness. So stiffness plays an important role here. So in proportion to the stiffness, the joint, the total moment is shared by all the members in proportion to their stiffness. So if stiffness increases in some proportion, the moments also shared in equal method. So half the moment gets carried over to the far end. So like in a moment distribution method, half the moment gets carried over to the far end. So these are important points that has to be known to every student, so that while asking in short answer questions, that is very easy to solve, and even knowledge is acquired only by using these methods. And we have uh, girder and column factors. These are the important definitions or important terms to be known while solving the problem using this factor method. The first one is, so going to the before slide, here we have it is depending on the stiffness. It is said here, it is depending on the stiffness. So if it depend on stiffness, it is our duty to know what is a stiffness. Already we have learnt in stiffness factor and all those things in the moment distribution method, and again I am repeating it again. So the relative stiffness of the member is nothing but the I by L, that is the ratio of moment of inertia and length of the member. And one more important note is we have to know is girder factor at a joint. So girder factor at a joint and column factor at a joint. This girder is nothing but a beam. Generally, girder is nothing but a very big beam. So if a beam size is used for residential purpose, it is called as a beam. So if the same beam in different cross sections like I section, L section, if they are used in industries and very big tall structures, those are considered as a girder. That's it. So that girder factor at a joint is nothing but the formula we have, summation of K. What is that K? That is relative stiffness of all columns meeting at a joint by summation of K of all members. So this is important. So we are finding girder factor. Girder means beam. So to find that factor, we are considering the columns stiffness. So please look at here, we are not considering the beam stiffness. So to find the factor, here we are considering the sigma K, that is summation of relative stiffness of the columns to the sigma K of all the members. All the members means includes all the construction, the structural members. And here we have column factor at a joint. So in the same manner like girder factor, we have sigma K of all beams. Sigma K of all beams by sigma K of all members. So that members means nothing but members means girder plus column. Members means girders plus columns. Fine. And we can subtract this G value with 1, that is 1 minus G, to get C. So what is C? That is column factor at a joint. And coming to moment factor, that C is equal to CMK and capital G is equal to GMK. So what is CMK and GMK? CM is equal to C. C is nothing but we have found just now, column factor, C plus half of the column factor of far end, half of the column factor of far end, and GM is equal to G plus half of the girder factor at far end. So why we are taking this extra considerations is that for design safety we are considering the factors. So if we have 10 apples and if we eat only 8 for today, so 2 we are saving again. Why? Because someone is hungry, so we can eat 2. That is safety. That is for safety purpose. In the same manner, considering the factors, design is done for safety. Fine. So what is sigma C? That is sum of column moments for a story. And sigma G is beam moments for a joint. This is what for a member we have individually C is equal to CMK and G is equal to GM into K. So for whole structure, sigma C is nothing but sum of column moments for a story, column moments, and G is equal to sum on beam moments. So already I have told that G means nothing but some girder. So that girder is nothing but something beam. So that is the reason he has used. So sigma G is equal to sum of beam moment factors for a joint. The main purpose of using girder as a term here is that it is dealing with the structures of more than 2 or 3 or 4 stories, multi-story building. That is the reason they are using G, that is girder. And this is regarding the portal method, sorry, the factor method. And if we find all these terms and if we do simple analysis for each story, for every moment, like in a slope deflection method, we will get the uh, desired solution. Already I have tell the desired solution will be get. So sir, here I have 10 as desired, which is desired result. So what is the desired result? That is asked in the question. So in the numerical problem, whatever he asks, that result will be the desired result. So coming to few important points. So analysis for vertical loads is done by substitute frame method. So please students must not get confused here, because more number of methods are there in only one unit. So not to get confused, I am repeating it again. So this is substitute frame method, only exclusively used for vertical loads. And we have analysis of horizontal loads. That is, first one is portal method. We have few assumptions. That is, point of contact figure will be at the center of the beam and column. And we have second assumption as uh, the intermediate columns will have 2 times the horizontal force of the exterior columns. And regarding cantilever method, we have two more assumptions again. Likely the first one is regarding the portal method and cantilever method, both are same. And the second one is the axial stress developed will be directly proportional to the distance from center of gravity. This one, something like this it is here in the second assumption. And also in factor method, there are no particular assumptions, but using a story by story building, and by using this is an advanced version of cantilever, sorry, slope deflection method, we can tell like that. So this is all regarding the theory part of the third unit, which is most important. So after having a little bit knowledge on this theory part, we can jump into the problematic one. So I think I am clear with these 3 videos, and thank you for watching this video. I am signing off for this time.